Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Blanket. If you remember a while back, I had a video where I showed some other figures that aren't the Playmates line. For example, this Geordie. This was made by Galoob in 80. Hold on, I can't see. Well, my old person eyes have kicked in, and I can't read those numbers. I believe it was 88 is when these were made. It was based on the first season uniforms, obviously, because it's got the low collar with the little lines on the shoulders, and Geordie's wearing red, which he only did in the first season. These figures were interesting. I love the fact that they did have this great articulation in the legs, but the arms, they only moved up and down. That was it. They typically all had these little fists and a phaser in the other hand, and the head kind of moves. It's like you really gotta kind of strain it. But yeah, I'd only had that and a Captain Picard, which, again, same thing, same articulation, fist, phaser. But I had an opportunity to get almost the rest of the line. And so I decided, screw it, I'm going to do it. So, we'll set Geordie and Captain Picard right over here. We've got Commander Riker, which, what was really cool is these are actually, sizably different. You put them next to each other, and Commander Riker is actually standing a good head's height over Captain Picard, as he should be. Again, fist, phaser. Might need to do some touch-up on the paint to get these back to looking presentable, but for the most part they're alright. Then I got a Commander Data, who for some reason his head actually moves better than any of the others. I'm not sure what that's about. This is not the speckled, apparently I think it was 100 or so, 150, had his face was speckled with blue spots for some reason, and that's a highly collectible one now. Then we have got Lieutenant Tasha Yar, which this is actually probably of all of them, the Captain Picard head sculpt is pretty good, but to be completely honest, the Data head sculpt is pretty bad. This is actually probably one of the better head sculpts. That actually has a decent likeness to Denise Crosby. Again, fist hand, phaser hand. I've always been curious whenever I've seen these that I want to look it up and find out, because Geordie, and we'll see here in a minute, Wharf, are the only ones that have their phasers in their left hand. And I'm curious if Michael Dorn and LeVar Burton are actually left-handed versus the rest of the cast being right-handed. Just one of those things that I've never taken the time to check out, but I have to do that sometime. So yeah, that's Tasha Yar. And then the last member of the crew that they made at the time is Wharf. And yeah, his head's got some paint rub-off. But of course, this is one of those big things that people talk about the Playmates figure, is that his forehead was just a little bit different in the first season, but he had this almost bob, very, very, very short haircut during the first season, and also his bandolier during the first season was significantly different. It was gold, it had these little tassels on it. It was actually a replica of the one that I believe it was Kang wore during the original series. Probably, I might be incorrect on that. It's been a while. And again, and you can, put these figures next to each other, and just look at that. He's massively tall. Of course, you put him next to Riker, and Riker is actually just the tiniest bit taller. But then, going on, I actually managed to also get Q, which this is a really cool Q figure. For one, that face actually does look like John Delancey. I'm going to be making a Playmates figure that is going to look more like this version, because obviously this is him sort of in his judge outfit, just without the red robes. I don't know that if they ever planned to have like a red cloth thing, kind of like maybe how the old Star Wars figures had the cloth robes. You know, maybe they intended to do something like that and they never got around to it, or what was the plan. But yeah, I'm going to actually be coming up soon, going to be making a custom figure. Well, I say soon. Who knows how soon the soon is when I'm working on all these figures for other people right now. But for my own collection, I'll be making a Playmates scale figure that's going to look almost identical to this, but in the 4.5-inch scale. Next, we've got a Ferengi, which unfortunately he actually had an accessory that could fit into his hand. It was the whip that they were famous for in that one episode. Is it Let That Be Your Last Battlefield? I'm having a brain fart moment. But the funniest thing about this one is he's got this pose with this hand, which is like doing this. Let's see if I can do it with my other hand, like this. Like he's like pointing, like, no, this is how it's going to be. It's something I do to my friends all the time as a joke, and I get a kick out of the fact that this figure is done like that. I might actually be taking this figure's head and making a mold of it so that I can actually expand the mold. There's a really neat trick for being able to expand the mold and make it the same size as the Playmates scale figures. But yeah, again, same points of articulation, and just like that Ferengi that came in the first wave of the Playmates, same costume that was literally only seen in one episode and never again. And then the one that I was really interested in getting, the Soleil. This alien species. They were only in one episode, and as you see, and this one actually has one of the best articulations for the head. He can actually turn his head all the way around. Legs are pretty basic, but the Soleil, I just thought they were really cool. They were based obviously on a cobra, and they've got these really cool scaly arms going on, and they were the enemies of the Anticans, which is the only figure that I do not have now. So if anybody feels like sending that to me, I'll give you a shout out on the channel. That'd be cool. But yeah, I now have almost all of them from the Galoob line. Not because I really planned on it, but just because it kind of happened. I do have, I don't know if I showed this in the previous video. This was the tricorder that they came with. And the idea apparently was that they could wear their tricorder like a necklace, or maybe throw it over the shoulder like a handbag. Because, you know, that's what they did every time they went down to the planet, was they got their tricorder on a necklace and went down. With this group, I did get one more figure. If you remember previously, I showed you that I had this motion picture Spock with the no eyes situation going on. But I also got a very, very worn Admiral Kirk from the motion picture. Again, it's the factor of these figures just almost never had eyes. But he's, of course, got a lot of paint rub going on. And the scale is not, again, this is one of those things that I actually find funny about what's going on with the current line of figures that's going to be coming out this July, is that while both of these lines are technically 3.5 or 3 3/4 inch figures, Patrick Stewart and William Shatner are supposed to be about the same height. But if I get them lined up real good, here, let me move Spock. You'll see that this Patrick Stewart, this Captain Picard, is probably about 1/8 of an inch taller And even furthermore is the fact that the heads are radically different in size. And no, I'm not going to make them kiss. But it's this is how I feel like comparing these two is how I feel like what's going to happen with the new line coming out in July is that there's going to be this tiny difference, and some people aren't going to care. Like, I don't have a problem with putting these on a shelf next to each other, but some people are probably going to flip out and hate it. And that's probably just the way that it's going to go. But that's it for today. Thank you very much, and I will see y'all next time.